On a calm and silent night, when the world becomes softer and slower, the sky above us begins to reveal its oldest secrets. Far beyond the glowing moon, beyond the familiar planets, and beyond the stars that gently sparkle in the darkness, there are distant galaxies floating in the endless sea of space. They are so far away that their light takes millions and sometimes billions of years to reach us. When you look at the night sky, you are not only looking across distance, but also back through time itself. Imagine standing in a quiet field beneath a dark sky, with cool air moving gently around you and thousands of stars shining above. Every tiny point of light feels peaceful, but hidden among those stars are enormous galaxies, each one containing billions of suns, planets, clouds of dust, and mysteries that no human has fully understood. Long ago, people believed the stars above Earth were small lights attached to a great dark ceiling above the world. Ancient travelers crossed deserts and oceans by following the patterns of stars in the night sky. Families sat around fires and told stories about the shapes they imagined between the stars. Some saw hunters, animals, kings, queens, and magical creatures. Yet even then, people felt that there was something deeper hidden in the darkness above them. The night sky seemed too large, too mysterious, and too beautiful to end with only the stars they could see. Today, we know that many of those tiny lights are actually entire galaxies, each one larger than we can truly imagine. Our own galaxy, the Milky Way, contains hundreds of billions of stars. If you could travel across it at the speed of light, it would still take around 100,000 years to reach the other side. And yet, beyond the Milky Way, there are trillions of other galaxies spread across the universe. Some are small and faint, while others are giant collections of stars that shine brightly across the darkness. Many of them are so far away that even the strongest telescopes can only see them as tiny glowing shapes. When you look at a distant galaxy, you are seeing ancient light. The light from nearby stars may take only a few years to reach us, but the light from faraway galaxies may travel for millions or billions of years before finally arriving on Earth. That means the universe we see at night is not the universe as it is today. It is the universe as it was long ago. Some galaxies we observe may have already changed completely by now. Some stars inside them may no longer exist. Entire worlds may have formed and disappeared while their light was still traveling through space toward us. There is something peaceful about this idea. The universe moves slowly. Galaxies drift through the darkness over billions of years. Stars are born inside quiet clouds of dust and gas, and they shine for millions of years before finally fading away. Nothing in space seems rushed. Everything follows a calm and gentle rhythm. While life on Earth can often feel busy and noisy, the distant universe feels quiet and patient. It reminds us that there is no need to hurry. Some galaxies are shaped like giant spirals, their glowing arms slowly turning around a bright center. Others are round and smooth, filled with old stars that give off a soft golden light. Some galaxies have strange shapes because they once collided with other galaxies long ago. These collisions are not violent in the way we imagine. Because stars are so far apart, galaxies can pass through one another like drifting clouds. Over time, their shapes change, their stars move into new positions, and new galaxies are formed. The deeper scientists look into space, the more galaxies they discover. In one famous image taken by a space telescope, astronomers pointed their camera toward a tiny dark patch of sky that seemed almost empty. When they looked at the final picture, they found thousands of distant galaxies hidden there, each one glowing softly in the darkness. This showed that even the emptiest part of space is filled with light and wonder. As you rest and imagine the universe above, you can picture yourself floating gently beneath a sky filled with countless galaxies. Each one is far away, silent, and beautiful. Their light has traveled farther than anything else we know, crossing endless darkness to reach our world. And tonight, as the stars shine quietly overhead, you are connected to all of it. Far away from Earth, beyond the stars we can see with our eyes, beyond the soft band of the Milky Way stretching across the night sky, there are galaxies so distant that their light began its journey before human beings ever existed. These galaxies drift through the universe in complete silence, slowly turning and changing over billions of years. If you could travel across space fast enough, leaving our solar system behind and moving beyond the nearby stars, you would eventually see that our galaxy is only one small part of a much larger universe. The Milky Way may feel enormous to us, but in reality it is only one galaxy among trillions. Somewhere in the darkness, far beyond our own, there are distant galaxies glowing softly like islands of light floating in a dark cosmic ocean. Some distant galaxies are beautiful spirals, with long arms of stars curving outward like giant glowing pinwheels. Inside those arms are clouds of gas and dust where new stars are slowly being born. Other galaxies are shaped more like giant balls of light, filled mostly with old stars that have already lived long and quiet lives. There are also galaxies with strange shapes that look broken or stretched apart, often because they once collided with another galaxy long ago. These collisions can take millions of years to happen. They are not sudden like car crashes on Earth. Instead, galaxies slowly pass through one another, their stars drifting apart and their clouds of gas mixing together. Over time, new shapes are formed, and sometimes entirely new stars appear. When astronomers study distant galaxies, they are really looking into the past. Light takes time to travel, and the farther away something is, the older the light becomes by the time it reaches us. A galaxy that is 1 million light-years away appears to us as it looked 1 million years ago. A galaxy that is 1 billion light-years away appears as it looked 1 billion years ago. This means that some of the galaxies we see through powerful telescopes may no longer exist in the same form today. They may have changed, merged with other galaxies, or faded into something entirely different. Yet their ancient light continues traveling through space, carrying a picture of what the universe once looked like. The idea of looking into the past through the night sky can feel peaceful in a strange and beautiful way. Every star, every galaxy, every faint glow in the darkness is a message from another time. Some of these messages are ancient beyond imagination. The light from certain galaxies began traveling toward Earth before our planet had oceans, before trees grew on land, and before any living creature had ever looked up at the sky. In a sense, the universe is like a giant library filled with old memories. Every distant galaxy is another page in a story that began billions of years ago. One of the most amazing things about distant galaxies is that no two are exactly the same. Some are filled with young blue stars that burn brightly and live fast lives. Others are full of old red stars that glow softly and quietly. Some galaxies contain enormous black holes at their centers, so powerful that they pull in gas, dust, and even entire stars. When this happens, the area around the black hole can shine brighter than the rest of the galaxy itself. Astronomers call these bright centers quasars, and they are among the most powerful objects in the universe. Even though quasars are extremely far away, they can still be seen because they produce such incredible amounts of light. As the universe continues to expand, distant galaxies slowly move farther and farther away from us. This movement is so gentle and slow that we cannot notice it during a single lifetime, but over billions of years the distance becomes enormous. Some galaxies are already so far away that one day their light may no longer be able to reach Earth at all. They will slowly disappear from view, fading into the darkness as the universe grows larger and larger. It is a quiet reminder that space is always changing, even when it seems still. Thinking about distant galaxies can make everyday worries feel smaller. Above us is a universe so vast and old that it stretches beyond imagination. There are galaxies drifting silently through darkness, stars being born in hidden clouds, and ancient light traveling across space without ever stopping. The universe does not rush. It moves slowly, patiently, and peacefully. And somewhere out there, beyond the farthest stars we know, countless distant galaxies continue their silent journey through the endless night. Long before Earth existed, before the sun began to shine, and before our own galaxy had fully formed, the universe was a very different place. In those early times, space was darker, quieter, and filled mostly with simple clouds of gas. There were no planets, no trees, no oceans, and no living creatures. There were not even many stars. The universe was still young, and the first galaxies had not yet appeared. 4 million years after the beginning of the universe, everything remained calm and dark, like a great endless fog stretching across space. Slowly, gravity began to pull small clouds of gas together. Tiny pieces of matter drifted toward one another over very long periods of time. These clouds became thicker and denser, gathering more gas as they moved through space. Eventually, the pressure inside them became so great that the first stars began to shine. These early stars were different from many of the stars we see today. They were often much larger, brighter, and hotter. Some of them lived only a short time before exploding in powerful bursts of light. Around these first stars, larger groups began to form. Gravity pulled stars together into enormous collections, and these collections slowly became the first galaxies. They were not always beautiful spiral shapes like the Milky Way. Many of the first galaxies were small, messy, and uneven. They were filled with bright young stars and thick clouds of gas. They collided often, merging with one another again and again. Over time, these small galaxies combined to create larger ones, slowly building the great galaxies we see today. It is difficult to imagine how old these first galaxies really are. Some of the light we see from them today has traveled for more than 13 billion years. That means the light left those galaxies when the universe was still very young. By the time that ancient light finally reached Earth, mountains had risen and fallen, oceans had formed, dinosaurs had appeared and disappeared, and humans had begun looking up at the night sky. The journey of light across the universe is so long that it can make human history seem like only a tiny moment. When scientists look at very distant galaxies through powerful telescopes, they are often seeing some of the earliest galaxies that ever existed. These galaxies appear very small and faint because they are so far away. Sometimes they look like soft red dots in the darkness. Their light has stretched as it traveled through the expanding universe, changing from bright colors into darker red shades. This is one reason why many of the oldest galaxies appear red when seen through special instruments. The first galaxies helped shape the universe we know today. Inside them, stars created heavier elements like carbon, oxygen, iron, and gold. When those stars exploded, they sent these elements out into space. Later generations of stars and planets formed from this material. Even the atoms inside your body were once part of ancient stars inside galaxies that existed billions of years ago. In a very real sense, every person is connected to those first galaxies. We are made from the dust of ancient stars that lived and died long before Earth was born. The early universe may have looked very different from the one we know today, but it was still filled with beauty. There were glowing clouds of gas, bright young stars, and small galaxies drifting through darkness. Space was quieter then, with fewer stars and larger empty spaces between galaxies. Yet even in that quiet darkness, the universe was already beginning to build something incredible. As billions of years passed, galaxies grew larger and more organized. Some became giant spirals with long, graceful arms. Others became huge, round galaxies filled with ancient stars. The universe slowly changed from a dark and empty place into one filled with light. Every galaxy we see today carries part of that ancient history inside it. Hidden within every star and cloud of gas is a memory of the first galaxies that appeared long ago. Tonight, when you imagine distant galaxies far away in the darkness, you can also imagine the very first galaxies ever born. They were small, glowing islands of light in a young universe, slowly drifting through endless space. Their ancient light still travels across the cosmos even now, quietly reminding us of how old, vast, and beautiful the universe truly is. Among all the different kinds of galaxies in the universe, spiral galaxies are often the most beautiful to imagine. They look like giant glowing wheels slowly turning in the darkness of space. Long curved arms stretch outward from a bright center, wrapping around the galaxy in elegant patterns. Inside these arms are billions of stars, clouds of gas, and hidden worlds that no one has ever seen. Our own galaxy, the Milky Way, is a spiral galaxy, and far beyond it there are countless others drifting quietly through the universe. If you could look down on a spiral galaxy from above, you would see its bright center shining like a golden light in the middle of a great cosmic storm. Around that center, the spiral arms curve outward in smooth and graceful shapes. These arms are not solid like the blades of a fan. They are made of stars and clouds moving slowly around the center of the galaxy. Some stars travel into the spiral arms, spend millions of years there, and then move back out again. Everything inside a spiral galaxy is always moving, but it happens so slowly that the galaxy appears calm and still. The center of a spiral galaxy is often the brightest part. This area is called the galactic core, and it is usually filled with old stars packed close together. Hidden deep inside the center is often a giant black hole, so massive that its gravity controls much of the galaxy around it. Even though black holes sound frightening, the one at the center of a galaxy is usually very far from the stars in its spiral arms. Most stars continue their slow journey through space without being pulled into it. The spiral arms themselves are some of the most active places in a galaxy. Inside these arms are huge clouds of gas and dust where new stars are born. Over millions of years, gravity pulls the gas together into dense clouds. Eventually, the pressure becomes so strong that new stars ignite, filling the area with soft blue and white light. Some of these young stars are very large and bright, but they do not live long lives. They burn quickly and sometimes explode in giant bursts called supernovas. These explosions scatter material into space, helping new stars and planets form later on. Spiral galaxies come in many different sizes. Some are small and delicate, while others are enormous. There are galaxies with thin spiral arms that stretch far into space, and others with thick arms that seem wrapped tightly around the center. Some spiral galaxies have a bright bar of stars across the middle, with arms extending from each end. These are called barred spiral galaxies. The Milky Way is believed to be one of them. From far away, barred spiral galaxies look peaceful and balanced, like glowing cosmic flowers opening in the darkness. Sometimes spiral galaxies pass close to one another. Their gravity can pull on each other, stretching their arms and changing their shapes. Over very long periods of time, two spiral galaxies may even collide. But these collisions are not violent in the way people often imagine. The stars inside galaxies are so far apart that very few actually crash into each other. Instead, the galaxies slowly pass through one another like giant clouds. Their shapes twist and change, and eventually they may combine into a completely new galaxy. There is something deeply calming about spiral galaxies because they remind us that beauty in the universe often comes from slow movement. The stars inside them are always traveling, always drifting around the center, but the motion is so gentle that it takes hundreds of millions of years for one full turn. If Earth moved that slowly, seasons would last for thousands of years. In space, everything happens at a different pace. Galaxies are patient. They take their time. When you imagine a spiral galaxy, you can picture yourself floating quietly above it, watching its glowing arms curve through the darkness. Billions of stars shine softly below, like tiny lanterns scattered across a dark ocean. Somewhere inside those stars, planets may circle peacefully in silence. Perhaps there are distant worlds with mountains, rivers, clouds, or strange skies unlike anything on Earth. Perhaps there are places where no one has ever looked up and wondered about the stars. Far across the universe, spiral galaxies continue their slow dance. They turn silently in the darkness, glowing softly for billions of years. Their beauty is gentle, endless, and calm, like a dream moving quietly through the night sky. While spiral galaxies are filled with graceful arms and bright clouds of new stars, there are other galaxies in the universe that look very different. These are called elliptical galaxies. Instead of having long spiral arms, elliptical galaxies are usually shaped like giant glowing balls or smooth stretched ovals. They appear calm and quiet, with soft light spread evenly across them. Many of them are much larger than spiral galaxies, containing trillions of stars gathered together in a huge glowing shape. If spiral galaxies are like spinning pinwheels, elliptical galaxies are more like giant golden lanterns floating through the darkness of space. Their stars do not move in neat circular patterns. Instead, the stars travel in many different directions, creating a smooth and rounded appearance. From far away, these galaxies can look peaceful and almost simple, but inside them are enormous numbers of stars, ancient worlds, and deep mysteries. Most elliptical galaxies are filled with very old stars. Unlike spiral galaxies, they usually do not contain much gas or dust. Because there is little gas left, very few new stars are born inside them. The bright young blue stars found in spiral galaxies are often missing. Instead, elliptical galaxies glow with the softer light of older red and yellow stars that have existed for billions of years. Some of these stars may have formed near the beginning of the universe itself, making elliptical galaxies some of the oldest structures in space. Scientists believe many elliptical galaxies were once spiral galaxies long ago. Over billions of years, galaxies drift through space and sometimes collide with one another. When two spiral galaxies slowly merge, their shapes can become stretched and twisted. Their spiral arms may disappear, and eventually they settle into one large smooth galaxy. This is one reason why many elliptical galaxies are so large. They may be the result of many smaller galaxies combining together over an incredibly long time. Some elliptical galaxies are among the biggest objects in the universe. They sit near the centers of giant galaxy clusters, surrounded by hundreds or even thousands of smaller galaxies. These giant elliptical galaxies are so large that they can stretch across millions of light years. Inside them are more stars than we can imagine. If you could stand on a planet inside one of these galaxies, the night sky might be filled with endless stars glowing softly in every direction. Even though elliptical galaxies may seem quiet, they can still contain powerful black holes at their centers. In some cases, these black holes are billions of times more massive than the sun. Gas and dust falling into these black holes can create bright jets of energy that shoot far into space. These jets can stretch across thousands of light years, lighting up the darkness around the galaxy. Yet even these powerful events happen slowly compared to the fast-moving world we know on Earth. There is something comforting about the old age of elliptical galaxies. They have existed for so long that they seem almost timeless. While stars inside spiral galaxies are constantly being born and dying, elliptical galaxies are quieter places, where ancient stars continue to shine gently through the darkness. They are like old cities in the universe, filled with memories of the distant past. If you could travel through one of these galaxies, you might see endless groups of red and golden stars spread across the darkness. There would be fewer bright clouds of gas and fewer places where new stars are forming. The galaxy would feel peaceful and still, as though time itself had slowed down. Everywhere around you would be the soft glow of stars that have been shining for billions of years. Some of the oldest stars in the universe may live inside elliptical galaxies. These stars were born when the universe was still young, long before Earth existed. They have watched galaxies grow, stars explode, and space slowly expand over unimaginable lengths of time. Their light has traveled across billions of years to reach us, carrying with it a quiet story from the earliest days of the universe. Far away in the darkness, giant elliptical galaxies continue drifting through space. They are calm, ancient, and filled with old stars glowing softly in the night. While the universe around them changes, these great galaxies remain like silent reminders of how vast and old the cosmos truly is. Not every galaxy in the universe has the smooth shape of an ellipse or the graceful arms of a spiral. Some galaxies look strange, uneven, and mysterious, as if they were shaped by forces too large to imagine. These unusual galaxies are often called irregular galaxies because they do not follow the common patterns seen in other galaxies. They may appear stretched, twisted, broken apart, or filled with bright patches of stars scattered in every direction. Looking at them can feel like looking at clouds in the sky, where no two shapes are ever exactly the same. Irregular galaxies often become strange because of gravity. When galaxies pass close to one another, their gravity can pull on each other like invisible hands. Over millions or billions of years, these forces can stretch galaxies into long shapes or tear away clouds of gas and stars. Sometimes two galaxies slowly collide and merge together, creating a completely new shape that does not look like either galaxy before it. The result can be a galaxy that seems wild and chaotic, yet still beautiful in its own quiet way. Some irregular galaxies are small and faint. They may contain only a few billion stars, which is much less than a giant galaxy like the Milky Way. Others are larger and brighter, filled with clouds of gas where new stars are being born very quickly. In these galaxies, there may be bright blue stars shining everywhere, lighting up the darkness with their intense glow. Because these young stars do not live very long, irregular galaxies can change more quickly than older, quieter galaxies. One of the most famous irregular galaxies near the Milky Way is the Large Magellanic Cloud. It floats not far from our own galaxy and can be seen from the southern hemisphere as a faint glowing patch in the night sky. Nearby is the Small Magellanic Cloud, another irregular galaxy with a strange shape. Scientists believe these galaxies have been pulled and stretched by the gravity of the Milky Way over a very long time. Even now, they continue their slow journey through space, moving around our galaxy like quiet companions. Some strange galaxies have long tails of stars and gas stretching far into the darkness. These tails are often created during collisions between galaxies. As the galaxies pass through each other, gravity pulls material outward, leaving behind glowing trails that can extend for thousands of light years. In telescope images, these tails sometimes look like streams of smoke drifting through space. They remind us that galaxies are not fixed or permanent. They are always changing, even if the changes happen slowly. There are also ring galaxies, which have a bright circle of stars surrounding an empty-looking center. These rare galaxies may have formed when one galaxy passed directly through another. The collision sent waves of gas outward, creating a glowing ring shape. From far away, ring galaxies can look like giant shining wheels floating in the darkness. Their unusual shapes make them some of the most fascinating objects in the universe. Even though irregular galaxies may seem chaotic, they still follow the quiet laws of nature. Gravity continues to guide the movement of stars and gas. New stars are born, old stars fade away, and clouds of dust drift through the galaxy in silence. Everything happens slowly, over periods so long that no human could ever watch the full change happen. A galaxy may take hundreds of millions of years to reshape itself after a collision. There is something peaceful about knowing that even the strangest galaxies belong in the universe. Not everything in space needs to be neat or perfect. Some galaxies are calm spirals, some are ancient ellipses, and some are unusual shapes that seem almost impossible to understand. Yet each one is part of the same endless universe, moving quietly through the darkness. If you could float beside an irregular galaxy, you might see bright clusters of stars shining in one direction and dark clouds of dust drifting in another. You might see long streams of light stretching away into space or glowing patches where new stars are being born. The galaxy would feel alive, always changing, always moving, yet never rushing. Far beyond Earth, these strange galaxies continue their silent journey through the cosmos. They remind us that the universe is full of surprises, and that beauty can be found even in the most unusual shapes drifting through the endless night. Although galaxies may seem peaceful and distant, they do not always remain alone. Over billions of years, galaxies slowly drift through space, and sometimes their paths bring them close together. When this happens, gravity begins to pull them toward one another. Eventually, two galaxies may collide. But unlike the sudden crashes we know on Earth, galaxy collisions happen in complete silence and take millions, sometimes billions, of years to finish. They are some of the slowest and most beautiful events in the universe. If you could watch two galaxies moving toward each other, the change would be almost impossible to notice at first. For thousands of years, they would still look nearly the same. Their stars would continue shining, their spiral arms would slowly turn, and clouds of gas would drift quietly through space. But little by little, gravity would begin changing their shapes. Their arms might stretch outward, and long streams of stars could form between them like glowing bridges of light. One surprising thing about galaxy collisions is that very few stars actually crash into each other. Even though galaxies contain billions of stars, the stars are spread very far apart. If the sun were the size of a small coin, the nearest star would still be hundreds of kilometers away. Because of this huge empty space, galaxies can pass through one another without most stars ever touching. Instead of stars colliding, it is gravity that causes most of the changes. As galaxies move through each other, their clouds of gas and dust can come together. When this happens, new stars may begin forming in great numbers. Huge bright regions appear inside the galaxies, filled with young blue stars that shine strongly against the darkness. In some collisions, so many stars are born that the galaxy becomes much brighter than before. Scientists call these starburst galaxies because they are creating stars at an unusually fast rate. Sometimes galaxy collisions can completely change the shape of both galaxies. Two spiral galaxies may slowly merge together and eventually become one giant elliptical galaxy. Their graceful arms disappear, their stars move into new paths, and their old structures fade away. What began as two separate galaxies becomes a single new galaxy with its own unique shape and history. One day, something similar will happen to our own galaxy. The Milky Way is slowly moving toward the Andromeda Galaxy, which is the nearest large galaxy to us. Right now, Andromeda appears as a faint glowing shape in the night sky. It is still very far away, but gravity is slowly pulling our two galaxies together. Scientists believe that in about 4 billion years, the Milky Way and Andromeda will begin to collide. This future collision may sound frightening, but it will happen so slowly that any planets still existing at that time may hardly notice. The night sky would gradually change over millions of years. Andromeda would appear larger and brighter in the sky until it filled much of the darkness above. Long streams of stars would stretch across the heavens, creating a night sky more beautiful than anything we can imagine today. Eventually, the two galaxies would merge into one enormous new galaxy. The stars from both galaxies would mix together, creating a giant glowing system that scientists sometimes call Milkomeda. By then, the shapes of both original galaxies would be gone, replaced by something entirely new. It would be the result of one of the greatest slow-motion events in the universe. Galaxy collisions remind us that space is always changing. Even though the universe feels calm and still, it is full of movement happening over very long periods of time. Galaxies drift, stars are born, shapes change, and new structures appear. Nothing remains exactly the same forever. There is something strangely comforting about these slow collisions. They show us that even great changes in the universe happen gently. Galaxies do not rush. They do not move suddenly. They simply drift together through the darkness, guided by gravity and time. Far above Earth, countless galaxies are still moving toward one another at this very moment, beginning silent dances that will continue for billions of years beneath the endless stars. As we look farther into the universe, some galaxies appear incredibly faint, barely visible even through the most powerful telescopes. These distant galaxies are so far away that their light has traveled billions of years just to reach us. When we see them, we are looking back in time, witnessing how the universe appeared long before Earth even existed. Their soft glow reminds us that space is vast and full of mysteries too large for our minds to fully comprehend. The faintness of distant galaxies comes from both their immense distance and the expansion of the universe. As space stretches, the light traveling from these galaxies also stretches, making it appear redder and dimmer. Scientists call this effect redshift. The farther a galaxy is, the more its light shifts toward the red end of the spectrum. When astronomers study these galaxies, they are not only seeing them as they were billions of years ago, but also observing the effects of the universe's slow expansion over time. Despite their faintness, distant galaxies carry incredible information about the universe's history. Their shapes, colors, and brightness tell scientists about the formation of stars, the presence of gas and dust, and the types of events that have occurred over billions of years. By studying these ancient galaxies, researchers can piece together the story of the cosmos, from the first stars to the galaxies we see today. Each faint dot of light is a window into a time far beyond human experience. Many distant galaxies are smaller than nearby ones because they are still young in the early universe. They may look irregular, with patches of bright stars scattered across their shape. These young galaxies are often full of star-forming regions, where clouds of gas collapse under gravity to ignite new stars. In some of them, stars shine intensely, creating brilliant blue glows that stand out even at immense distances. Yet their light is so faint by the time it reaches Earth that we need precise instruments to capture it. Some distant galaxies are so far away that we cannot see them with ordinary telescopes at all. Space observatories placed above Earth's atmosphere, like the Hubble Space Telescope, have revealed thousands of these galaxies in a single image. In one famous photograph, a tiny patch of seemingly empty sky revealed thousands of faint galaxies, each one containing billions of stars. This discovery showed that even the darkest regions of space are full of light and life, if only we have the patience to look closely. The quiet glow of distant galaxies can feel almost meditative. Their light has traveled for billions of years, moving silently across the cosmos. When we imagine their journey, it seems calm and steady, like an ancient river of light flowing endlessly through space. Each photon carries a story from long ago, quietly arriving to illuminate our understanding of the universe. Even though distant galaxies appear small and faint, their existence is a reminder of the vastness of space. Every galaxy, no matter how dim, is part of a greater cosmic web that stretches across the universe. Some may never grow into large spiral or elliptical galaxies. Some may fade away over time. Yet for now, they shine, sending their ancient light across billions of light years to reach us, quietly illuminating the night. As you imagine these faint galaxies, picture them floating silently in the darkness, their soft glow blending with the blackness of space. They are far away, ancient, and calm, yet their light reaches us like a whisper from another time. The universe is full of such quiet wonders, and each one reminds us of the depth, patience, and beauty of the cosmos. When we observe distant galaxies, one of the most fascinating things we notice is their color. Some galaxies glow with soft reds and oranges, while others shine in pale blues and whites. These colors are not random. They tell a story about the stars inside, the gas and dust surrounding them, and the history of the galaxy itself. Each shade carries information about how stars are forming, aging, and dying, and about the age of the light that reaches us across billions of years. Galaxies that appear red often contain older stars. These stars have lived for billions of years and burn with a steady, gentle glow. They have used up most of their hydrogen, and their light is calmer and softer than that of young stars. In some red galaxies, the stars are so old that they formed very early in the history of the universe. Their light has traveled across unimaginable distances to reach Earth, giving astronomers a glimpse into the ancient cosmos. Blue galaxies, on the other hand, are often filled with young, hot stars. These stars burn brightly and intensely but do not live long. They are frequently surrounded by clouds of gas, where new stars are constantly being born. In these regions, the light is vibrant and energetic, as though the galaxy itself is alive with activity. The contrast between the red and blue galaxies provides a visual timeline of cosmic life. Some galaxies are quiet and mature, while others are lively and full of newborn stars. The expansion of the universe also changes the colors we see. As galaxies move farther away from us, the light they emit stretches, shifting toward the red end of the spectrum. This effect, called redshift, allows astronomers to estimate how far away a galaxy is and how long its light has been traveling. A galaxy that appears very red may be incredibly distant, its light having crossed billions of years of cosmic space. In this way, color becomes more than just beauty. It becomes a map of both time and distance in the universe. Sometimes, galaxies show a mix of colors. In a single galaxy, some regions may glow blue with young stars, while other parts shine red with older stars. Clouds of gas and dust can scatter light, creating glowing patterns that seem almost like cosmic art. Each galaxy is unique, a living canvas painted by the forces of nature, gravity, and time. Their colors are reminders of the processes that shape them, slowly and patiently over billions of years. Looking at the colors of distant galaxies can feel like watching a slow cosmic dance. The reds, blues, and white swirl together in your imagination as stars are born, age, and fade. Even though the changes happen over millions or billions of years, the patterns are visible to those who observe carefully. Each galaxy tells a story of life and transformation, quietly unfolding across the vast darkness of space. The beauty of these colors also inspires wonder and calm. Unlike the rapid, flashing lights of Earth, the hues of galaxies are steady, gentle, and enduring. They remind us that the universe moves at its own pace, that time stretches differently across the cosmos, and that every faint glow is a story waiting to be understood. When you imagine a night sky filled with distant galaxies, picture them shining in every color: reds, blues, yellows, and whites. Each one is a quiet signal from across space and time, illuminating the dark with stories of birth, growth, and age. Their soft, endless glow invites the mind to rest, to drift slowly along with the universe, and to feel the patient rhythm of the cosmos. At the center of nearly every large galaxy lies an extraordinary and mysterious object, a supermassive black hole. These cosmic giants are millions, sometimes billions, of times more massive than our sun. They sit quietly at the heart of galaxies, influencing the motion of stars, gas, and dust around them. Even though black holes are invisible, their presence is felt through the gravitational pull they exert and the energetic phenomena that occur in their vicinity. They are like the unseen engines of galaxies, silently shaping everything around them with immense power and patience. Despite their incredible mass, black holes do not move rapidly. The stars around them orbit slowly, following paths dictated by gravity. Time near a black hole flows differently, warped by the intense gravity, yet from a distance, their effect is subtle. The galaxies surrounding them continue their slow dance, their spiral arms or smooth elliptical shapes moving through space as if nothing extraordinary were at their centers. But the black hole's influence extends far beyond what we can see, holding galaxies together and maintaining their structure over billions of years. Some supermassive black holes are surrounded by vast disks of gas and dust, spiraling inward in a graceful, slow swirl. As the material falls closer, it heats up, glowing brilliantly across many wavelengths of light. In some cases, the energy released can outshine the entire galaxy, creating what astronomers call quasars. These are among the brightest objects in the universe, visible even when billions of light years away. Yet the black hole itself remains invisible, a silent heart behind the radiance, reminding us that some of the most powerful forces in the cosmos are hidden from direct view. The growth of a supermassive black hole is a slow and patient process. They may begin life as smaller black holes formed from collapsing massive stars. Over millions of years, they gradually pull in gas, dust, and sometimes entire stars. When two galaxies merge, their central black holes may also slowly spiral toward one another, eventually combining into an even larger black hole. This process, like most cosmic events, takes place on timescales so vast that no human could witness it in a single lifetime. Yet the changes are fundamental, shaping galaxies and influencing the formation of new stars. Interestingly, the size of a black hole often correlates with the size of its host galaxy. Larger galaxies tend to harbor larger black holes. Scientists are still uncovering the exact relationship, but it appears that black holes and galaxies grow together, slowly and symbiotically. As galaxies form new stars and evolve, the black holes at their centers quietly absorb material, keeping a delicate balance that sustains the galaxy's structure over billions of years. Even though black holes are regions from which nothing, not even light, can escape, their surroundings can be spectacularly luminous. Streams of high-energy particles may shoot outward from the poles of black holes, extending thousands of light years into space. These cosmic jets are incredibly powerful yet move at a steady pace compared to the rapid motion we are used to on Earth. They shine with a calm intensity, stretching across the dark void, tracing the invisible influence of the black hole. When you imagine a supermassive black hole at the heart of a galaxy, picture a dark center surrounded by a soft halo of glowing stars and gas. Stars orbit gently, clouds of dust drift slowly, and the black hole sits quietly, unseen, shaping everything around it. It is a reminder that the universe contains forces beyond our direct perception, working in silence over unimaginable spans of time, influencing the cosmos in ways both subtle and profound. Black holes also serve as cosmic timekeepers. Because their gravitational pull affects the movement of stars and gas, astronomers can study these motions to understand the history of a galaxy. They reveal not just the present state, but the story of millions and billions of years of cosmic evolution. In this way, supermassive black holes are not just powerful objects, they are archives of time, holding secrets about the formation and growth of galaxies throughout the universe. Even in the calmest galaxy, the presence of a supermassive black hole reminds us of the vast forces at work in the cosmos. While stars shine and galaxies drift in silence, the black hole quietly governs its domain, unseen yet all-encompassing. Its patient influence ensures that galaxies remain coherent structures for billions of years, and its hidden power creates some of the universe's most luminous and breathtaking phenomena. Imagining these giants at the centers of galaxies can fill one with awe and quiet wonder. They are timeless, immense, and mysterious, yet they move with a gentle rhythm that echoes the slow, patient pace of the cosmos itself. Even as we drift through our own lives, the universe continues its calm, intricate dance, guided in part by these hidden hearts of darkness. In this way, supermassive black holes are both terrifying and comforting, reminding us of the grandeur, patience, and serenity of the universe across all of time and space. Galaxies rarely drift alone through space. Instead, they often gather in enormous groups called galaxy clusters. These clusters are the cities of the universe, containing hundreds or even thousands of galaxies bound together by gravity. Within a cluster, galaxies move slowly, orbiting a common center, drifting past one another in a cosmic ballet that unfolds over billions of years. To imagine a galaxy cluster, picture countless islands of light floating silently in a vast dark ocean, each one carrying billions of stars within it, each one a world of its own. Clusters of galaxies come in many shapes and sizes. Some are compact, with galaxies packed closely together, their light blending into a soft glow. Others are spread across immense distances, with galaxies scattered across millions of light years. Despite their size, clusters remain bound by an invisible hand, gravity, holding them together while they slowly evolve over cosmic time. The galaxies inside a cluster interact gently, passing by each other, sometimes colliding or merging, but always moving at a pace dictated by the calm rhythm of space. Inside galaxy clusters, the space between galaxies is not empty. It is filled with a hot, diffuse gas that glows in X-rays, invisible to the naked eye but detectable by space telescopes. This gas is so thin that a human could pass through it without noticing, yet it contains more matter than all the stars in the galaxies combined. The presence of this hot gas tells astronomers about the weight and size of the cluster and the invisible dark matter that holds everything together. Clusters, therefore, are not only beautiful collections of galaxies, they are laboratories for understanding the hidden forces of the cosmos. Galaxy clusters are dynamic places. Over billions of years, galaxies within a cluster may slowly drift closer together. Some may merge to form larger galaxies, while others may be pulled outward into quieter regions of space. Clusters themselves can collide with other clusters in gentle cosmic dances, creating streams of galaxies and gas that stretch across unimaginable distances. These collisions are silent, majestic, and incredibly slow, giving the universe a sense of calm continuity despite the immense forces at play. The largest galaxy clusters are truly enormous. Some contain thousands of galaxies, each glowing softly with billions of stars. These clusters stretch across tens of millions of light years, making them some of the largest structures in the observable universe. At their centers often lie massive elliptical galaxies, giant relics of repeated mergers, quietly glowing with the light of ancient stars. Around them, smaller galaxies orbit in slow, predictable patterns, like citizens moving through the streets of an ancient city. Even though galaxy clusters are immense, their evolution is governed by the same forces that shape smaller structures: gravity, star formation, and time. The same processes that create spiral arms in a single galaxy also influence how galaxies drift together, merge, or interact within a cluster. Over billions of years, the cluster slowly changes, growing larger, shifting shape, and evolving in ways almost too slow for the human mind to comprehend. Yet this gentle transformation gives clusters their beauty and serenity. Observing a galaxy cluster through a telescope is like looking at a painting of distant lights. Each galaxy contributes its own glow, creating a complex tapestry of colors and forms. Some galaxies are young and blue, filled with rapidly forming stars. Others are red and calm, containing only ancient stars. Streams of gas and dust weave between galaxies, and gravitational effects stretch and distort the shapes subtly, creating arcs and soft curves that blend into the surrounding darkness. Clusters also highlight the presence of dark matter, the invisible substance that makes up most of the universe's mass. Without dark matter, the galaxies in a cluster would drift apart, unable to hold together. Its quiet presence is felt in the gravitational pull it exerts, subtly shaping the motion of every star and galaxy within the cluster. In this way, galaxy clusters are living maps of both visible and invisible forces, silently demonstrating the structure and scale of the cosmos. If you imagine floating through a galaxy cluster, you would drift past hundreds of galaxies, each one a silent city of stars. Their light would glow gently in the darkness, some forming beautiful spiral arms, others smooth ellipses. You could watch galaxies slowly orbit one another, merge, or pass in graceful arcs, all moving to the rhythm of gravity and cosmic time. It would be calm, mesmerizing, and timeless, a universe moving patiently, without rush, in endless motion. Galaxy clusters remind us of the vastness and interconnectedness of the cosmos. Each galaxy has its own story, yet every cluster forms a larger narrative of cosmic evolution. As we imagine the gentle, slow motion of these immense structures, we feel the universe's patience, its quiet grandeur, and the delicate beauty of time unfolding across billions of years. Floating above Earth, in thought, among these distant cities of stars, one can sense both wonder and peace, drifting alongside the galaxies themselves. Beyond individual galaxies and even beyond galaxy clusters, the universe has an even larger structure, a vast, intricate network known as the cosmic web. If you could see it from far away, it would look like a delicate lattice stretching across the darkness, with threads of galaxies and gas connecting enormous clusters like beads on invisible strings. The cosmic web is the skeleton of the universe, silently shaping the distribution of matter on the largest scales imaginable. The threads of the cosmic web are composed of galaxies, clusters, and enormous filaments of gas. These filaments can span hundreds of millions of light years, guiding the motion of galaxies along their paths. Between the filaments are vast voids, regions where very few galaxies exist. These empty spaces can be unimaginably large, creating a contrast that makes the luminous threads of the cosmic web appear even more striking. It is both beautiful and humbling to imagine such a structure existing beyond our senses, invisible to the naked eye but revealed through careful observation and imagination. Gravity is the silent architect of the cosmic web. Over billions of years, small fluctuations in the early universe caused matter to clump together. These clumps grew larger as gravity pulled in more matter, forming stars, galaxies, and eventually clusters. The cosmic web is the result of this slow, patient process, a vast, interconnected network tracing the flow of matter through space. Its patterns are not random, they reflect the underlying distribution of dark matter, which cannot be seen directly but whose presence is revealed through the motion of galaxies. The cosmic web also contains enormous amounts of gas, often hotter and more diffuse than the gas inside individual galaxies. This gas slowly flows along the filaments, feeding galaxies and clusters over billions of years. In some regions, gas streams can funnel material into a galaxy, sparking new star formation. In other regions, the gas remains quiet, stretching between clusters like invisible rivers. It is a calm, slow process, invisible to our eyes but fundamental to the evolution of the universe. Galaxies within the cosmic web do not drift randomly. Their motion is guided by the gravitational pull of the web itself. Some galaxies slowly move along the filaments toward dense clusters at the intersections of the threads. Others remain in quieter regions, forming isolated systems that evolve gently over time. The overall motion is subtle and patient, unfolding over millions or billions of years, yet it gives the universe a sense of structure, rhythm, and balance. Observing the cosmic web is challenging because much of it is invisible in ordinary light. Astronomers detect it using special techniques, such as mapping the faint glow of gas between galaxies or observing how light from distant quasars is absorbed along the way. These observations reveal a delicate, interconnected universe that stretches beyond imagination. It shows that galaxies, clusters, and voids are all part of a larger story, connected by unseen forces moving quietly through time. The beauty of the cosmic web lies not just in its structure but in its patience. The threads grow, shift, and evolve over billions of years. Collisions, mergers, and star formation all happen along these invisible highways, contributing to the slow unfolding of cosmic history. Unlike anything we experience on Earth, the web operates on scales so vast that a human lifetime is an imperceptible instant. Yet every movement contributes to the grand design of the universe. Imagining yourself floating within the cosmic web is like drifting among endless streams of light. Filaments stretch in every direction, connecting glowing clusters of galaxies like distant lanterns in the night. The voids between threads are immense, giving a sense of silence and stillness. It is a universe that is calm, patient, and deeply ordered, yet so vast that it humbles the mind. The cosmic web reminds us that everything is connected, even across billions of light years. Galaxies do not drift alone. They are part of an intricate network, influenced by gravity, dark matter, and the slow passage of time. It is both a map and a story, quietly revealing the vastness of space and the serenity of the cosmos. Floating above Earth in thought, one can imagine drifting along these invisible threads, moving with the universe itself, calm and eternal. Even in its silence, the cosmic web is alive with motion. Stars are born and die, galaxies merge and drift, and gas slowly flows along the filaments, feeding the life of the universe. It is a slow, gentle process, unfolding across time spans almost impossible to grasp. And yet, through careful observation, imagination, and reflection, we can sense the quiet rhythm of the cosmic web, a patient structure holding the universe together in a graceful, enduring pattern.